Before we lost Ella, we had no idea how common heart issues were in kids. We had no idea that CHDs cause more infant deaths than any other birth defect. And that knowledge for us was really sobering. When they told us that Ella was in heart failure, it was like someone pulled a rug out from underneath us. There was so much terminology that we didn't understand. We could not even fathom the impact that this diagnosis would have on our lives. We want to fund research. We want to give people the knowledge that we didn't have that will allow them to make better decisions for their kids so that they never have to experience what it's like. If that's the only good thing that comes out of this, that is worth fighting for. All right, Ryder, you got this. Let's go.
I really want some paw prints.
Oh, what are you going for? Paw prints or ice?
I really want some paw prints.
Okay, you got it. What? My family is a little bit special because you can't see all of us with your eyes. We have myself, my husband Kyle, and we have 2 little blonde kids running around, a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. Everybody asks us if they're twins. But what you can't see is the little 10-year-old that should be running around.
Our oldest, Ella, we had her in 2016. She changed our world. We were so excited to have a new baby.
She was the light of our world.
She was hitting all our milestones. We had no idea that there was even an issue that was going on with her behind the scenes.
It wasn't around until Ella's first birthday that we realized there was any sign of anything wrong. She got what we thought was a cold. I called the pediatrician on Monday, and Ella was sitting on my lap. And the nurse could hear Ella breathing in the background. And she said, "Is that your daughter wheezing?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I'm just going to have you go ahead and hang up the phone and bring her right in right now." And that probably should have been my cue that there was something emergent in nature. And they put the little pulse ox on her finger, and that's when they saw how low her oxygen levels were. And that is really, for me, where that grounding happened, is when they told me that they were going to call an ambulance and rush her to the ER. But after a whole night of treatment, she did not show any signs of improvement. So they took her via ambulance to Children's Hospital, and they did an image of Ella's heart and realized that her heart was way bigger than it should be. I was so focused on just wanting to be able to feed her because that is always how I was able to comfort her. The doctor said, "I don't think that you understand how sick your daughter is. She's one of the sickest children in this hospital right now, and we need to figure out what's going on with her heart." And that really, I think, for me, was that moment of, oh my gosh, what if she's not okay?
What you doing, Ella? Hi, are you playing?
She seemed like she was responding to the medicine they were giving her. She spent another couple of weeks at the hospital as she was getting her O2 levels back as she was recovering further. And then they actually released us, and we were doing follow-up appointments a couple of times a week, and she had a medication cycle that she was on.
We thought we were in the clear. They said, we're going to keep an eye on it and have her come back in for regular checks. She was still very lethargic with us here, but we were hopeful for a full recovery.
It was about 3 weeks after they had released us from the hospital when she was at daycare, and we got a call.
Her lips are turning blue. And I said, "Hang up the phone with me right now and call 911.
They were going to airlift her from the hospital in St. Peter's to St. Louis Children's Hospital.
There was only room for one of us in the chopper, and so Kyle said, "Well, you go with her in the helicopter and I'll just take the car." They pulled me aside and said, "Hey, you're going to give her just a little bit of sedation just to keep her calm." And I was like, whatever you got to do. So they gave her just a tiny bit of sedation, and that's when she flatlined. And then everything broke loose, and they were doing compressions, and I'm like, I gotta call Kyle. So I put him on video so that Kyle could watch. I remember saying to him, everything's okay, but Ella's heart did stop, but they're doing compressions. I wasn't crying when I told him because I really did genuinely believe everything's fine. And I went up to the head of the bed, still willfully disbelieving that she would be gone. And I started singing over her. I don't even remember when they stopped the compressions. I just remember that it was just me singing. And then I realized how quiet it was. One of the nurses was like, "Honey, we're so sorry she's gone." They unhooked her from everything. And I just sat there with her in my arms. I just kept pushing my finger into her hand because it made her fingers curl around. Leaving the hospital, I just remember looking at the empty car seat, like, what are we gonna do now? We know nothing about living through this type of grief, but we want her legacy to make us the best versions of ourselves. A friend of ours purchased a dinner for us at Olive and Oak as a way to support us through our grief.
And Mark sat with us, and as we told his story, he just cried with us. Being with somebody else that had experienced something so similar made us feel at least we weren't as alone as we might have felt otherwise.
And we looked at the work they were doing with the Ollie Hinkle Foundation, and we were very inspired by that. So we went into Children's Hospital and we were like, we'd like to start an endowment fund in our daughter's name. It will outlive us. And then that's when we had the idea to do the trivia night. And we were like, we can do this big on Ella's birthday. We'll bring people together. Our trivia night was so successful, it completely endowed the fund. And that momentum is what led to us creating Ella's Umbrella. The mission of Ella's Umbrella is to fund pioneering heart research and technology while protecting and supporting families with inspiration and resources. It's not a philosophical thing. It's not an aspirational thing. It's something that we're actually seeing happen.
They didn't realize that she actually had a genetic heart condition. We got those results about 6 weeks after she had already passed. And so if doctors can be more aware of what's happening with kids and there's more research and more funding in that area, our hope is that our actions could save maybe just one other kid.
That little girl has had more of an impact on the world than I could ever imagine. We have a story that allows us to show up for people in moments when nobody else knows what to say to them. We can show up with authority because we've lived it, and that is a gift that Ella gave us. Every parent hopes their child will grow up to change the world, and Kyle and I are just getting to see our daughter's legacy over and over again.